Now, I'm going to now so that we can dive into this. I know that a lot of people want to go to Canada by fire, by force. It is either Canada or nowhere. Hey, how are you?
Hello, can you hear me?
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good, good. Thank you very much for accepting, to do this with me, talking to people about your experience and sharing your experience as to how you moved. A lot of people want to go to Canada. It's either Canada or nowhere.
Nowhere. Yes, I
Canada
understand.
or nowhere. And I always ask people, why is it Canada? They say it's Canada or nowhere. Canada or Canada. Well, anyway, I've done a video before about moving to Canada briefly,
Okay.
just general overview. But this is interesting because it talks about moving to Canada via the job route, which you have experienced yourself. So let's dive right into it. I have a series of questions with you. We'll take a little bit of questions for you. Some people are already commenting and saying Black Beauty in Canada.
Okay.
All right, let's do this. Tell us a little bit about Canada briefly, just for people who want to create an image in their head to understand why there's such a huge rave about Canada. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Shay. I am a software developer, also a YouTuber. I create content about Canada, tech, and lifestyle. So my YouTube channel is Shay Jegs. So about Canada, I know Canada is a new buzzword. When you say relocation, when you say Japa, the next thing that comes to your mind is Canada. And I can understand that because at least there's a clear path to, citizenship and permanent residency. Canada means a lot to different people. But for me, personally, it just meant sanity. And from my experience so far, it's a slower pace of life. When I first came, I was like, where's everybody here? Like, unlike Lagos, it's just like everybody's inside. But then you see cars moving, that's just a great quality of life. So, you have more opportunities. Yes, of course. So, unlike maybe when you're in Nigeria and there's always this age factor when you're applying for jobs, and you think if I'm of this certain age, that's the end for me. If I not graduate or on that, the way they want 10 years of experience at age 26, all those type of things. You don't have that here because when they're
Yeah.
writing the job descriptions, they're just like, age is not a factor, race is not a factor. So it just opens your mind to an opportunity, beginning to live your life for what truly you want to do, spend quality time on things you are interested in, not just, trying to on generator, going to look for fuel. No, I'm not trying to, but it just makes you go straight to the point and live your life the way you want to. So it has been a beautiful experience for me. Of course, the downside is like the weather. We're not used to this weather, but it's something that can be managed, and it's not always cold, although majorly most of the month is cold. And childcare for those that have family or younger children, it can be very expensive. Besides that, it's really beautiful.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Before we go on, I can see comments flying here, and someone is saying that I don't save videos. That's not correct. I save videos on my page and I put it on YouTube as well. So that's false news. Let's move on now. Another
Okay.
question I want to ask, it's a bullet question, 3-in-1 questions. First and foremost, where are you from? Your country of origin, your country of birth. Where are you at the moment in Canada? And how did you do it? Briefly, just tell us how you did it.
Okay, I am from Nigeria. As you can hear from my voice, I don't have the accent. I currently live in Kitchener, Ontario. So Kitchener, Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And I moved here last year, August 2021, and I came by the job route through the LMIA job route. Yeah.
Fantastic. You moved through the job route. Fantastic, LMI. Okay. So another thing is this. Canada is one of these countries that has several pathways to move to Canada. Loads
hmm
of pathways. Can you tell us briefly about these pathways that are available to move to Canada?
Oh, yeah, I made a list of them. And just like you said, for if you're looking to get like a foreign, as a foreigner, if you're looking to get a job in Canada. There are like 6 different pathways on their website. That's in CIC website. You have like the express entry route, which many people know is a buzzword. You have the global talent stream route. That's where my own job offer comes under. You have the academics route, those people that come to school, and then from there you get a job or work permit. You have the agriculture route, and I know many Nigerians are exploring that part as well. You have the caregivers route. So if you want to be a caregiver, they can also sponsor you to come, and there's a pathway to permanent residency. And you have the positions in Quebec. So Quebec is the French-speaking part of Canada, and they have almost all the jobs that you can think about. They don't have restrictions because I was in Quebec last year and I realized that they have shortage in labor supply. So they need more people for almost every job opportunity. So these are like the 6 specialized categories where you can fall
Wow.
under.
Fantastic. Sometime soon, I'm going to be bringing someone who, moved to Canada via the agricultural route, and would also find someone who moved as a healthcare assistant to also give people who want to move to hear from them directly. Now, let's get to the crux of the matter. Tell us about LMIA. What is LMIA in itself?
Okay, that's a very good question because LMIA means Labor Market Impact Assessment. So for the government of Canada, I like to paint this picture. Canada is a country that has vast space of land, and majority of their workforce and their youth are not in the country. If you come to Canada, from the moment I entered the Air Canada flight, I saw that the people that were attending to me on the flight were old people. When I came to get my vaccine here, I saw it was old people as well. What happened to their youth force? Because of the relationship with Canada and US, most of them just leave the country, go to the US and work. So they have shortage of labor. So they need you as much as you need them. So it's not a case of you're trying to help them only or you're trying to help yourself only. It's both ways. So Canada needs a lot of people to come and work in the country, and you're helping them because you're going to pay tax as well. So don't see it as you just want to move for yourself. It's a mutual stuff. So labor market impact assessment is a way because they know that from within the country they cannot fill up all the job vacancies they have, all the roles they need to grow. So they made arrangements whereby they can hire foreign workers that can come into the country and work. So that's why the labor market impact assessment is there. So what does this do? It's for employers. When you want to employ people and you find within the country you advertise, you cannot fill up that role, the government gives you this LMIA whereby you show that, okay, I've tried to look for somebody, but I could not get. So now I can get this foreign worker who has fit into this role, who can do this job, and you have this exemption. And with that assessment done, you can just use it to apply for a work visa, and voila, you're here.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you very much. Let me also say this because I can see a few comments. This is not peculiar to just Nigerians. So long as you're a foreigner living outside Canada, you can apply. So whether you're Namibian, South Africa, Kenyan, Indian, Chinese, anywhere you're
Yes.
from, it doesn't matter. You can apply for the LMIA. So this is not typical for just Nigerians alone. Now, what people want to get and understand now is, how did you do it? What was the process like? Tell us how you did it step by step till you got to Canada.
Okay. So like every other Nigerian right now watching this or everybody on this call, I knew that at this point I wanted a better life for myself. And Nigeria was not going to give me that. I was working remotely fine, but I needed to move and just, focus on my focus. So even right now, as I'm working in Canada, I can assure you that I'm only seeing one of my colleagues because I'm still working remotely. So nothing much has changed. So I decided to check out what are my options to moving to Canada, for instance. As I mentioned, there's the express entry route, there's the academics route, and other routes. So I was eligible for the academics. I can go for international student route. I can get a job, or I can apply for express entry. Express entry is very expensive and it's a long process. But I realized that if I get a job, that would be a very fast method. They sponsor me, I enter the country. After 1 year, I can apply for permanent residency through the
Cool.
Canadian through the Canadian Experience classes.
Say,
It's a win-win. All right. So I decided to look for websites where I could apply. So there's LinkedIn, set my alerts to, Canada. At this point, I'm not looking for any specific place. Canada, set my notifications to Canada, check Indeed, register on all these websites whereby they place people on Canadian companies like VanHack, like Indeed.ca. I listed many of them on my channel. I have like a list for tech people, especially. So there are many links. So you can just apply. And when you check the requirements, what I did was I checked the requirements and I saw that relocation was part of it. Because of course they can hire you and you can be remote. But then my my contract was like, or what I wanted was a relocation company. So if you are not relocation, I'm leaving you behind. So basically, I met the requirement as a software developer of over 4 years of experience or 5 years of experience. And then, software is the same everywhere. It's not like you need certification. It's the same GitHub that we're using, the same internet that we're using, the same React that we're using. And then I applied to the test. And when I passed the process, scaled through the process, I got my job offer. And from there, they applied for the LMIA. I started the job immediately anyway. So I worked for 6 months before relocating. But in this process of the 6 months, they're already applying for the LMIA, which the company does first. After which, when the LMIA is successful, I get this document and then use it to apply for a work permit on the Canadian website. And from there, once the work permit is approved, I relocated.
wow. Did you need IELTS at all?
Oh, okay. So I can go into the details of the application process if
Yes,
that's fine.
please go into the details of the application process, please.
Okay, so for the work permit, basically there was some list of documents that I needed. IELTS was not one of them because for you to have gone through the assessment process with the company, people must have agreed and spoken a language. So it's assumed that the company has assessed you with language and communication. So just give me a minute, please. All right, I have it here. So I was applying for a closed work permit, meaning that I am attached to my company, my employer, for 2 years. So there are two types of work permits, either an open work permit or a closed work permit. But since they are the ones bringing me, I'm tied to them for 2 years. So that's a closed work permit. You require like a police report, which you can get from Lagos. You require proof of work experience, which is like your CV, basically. My degree transcript and certificate, just because most of these jobs, they just need you to at least have like a degree, basically, for work visa application to show that you really have education related to the course of study, but that is not compulsory. Then my pay stubs, proof from past employers to show that I pay tax. Since Canada is all those countries whereby tax is very important, so I had to show like my last 4 pay stubs or pay slips. And if you don't have it, you can always write a letter to explain that. Then recommendation letter from my previous employer that yes, I truly had this role and I worked there under this role, yeah. Then employment record. So this is like a breakdown of your relevant work experience related to this work. So CV has your education and all that, but employment record is just strictly your employment. So I was working
History.
here as your employment history, yes. So I was working here as a contractor from here to here, from this time to this time. I worked here as a full-time person from this time, just basically your work history. Then marriage certificate for those who are married, because your spouse will also get an open work permit, meaning that they're free to work with anybody for the 2 years. And if you have children, your children will get a study permit.
Wait,
Then
hold on. Did you just say that if you get the LMIA and you're married
mhm,
and you have kids,
mhm,
automatically your children will get study permits and your
your
partner will
spouse,
get a
yes,
work
yes,
permit?
yes.
Wow.
So
Okay.
Canada is family centric, so they believe that everybody should go together. So as long as one person gets the work permit, the other person gets an open work permit. That means the person can work with any employer. They're not tied to anybody. They can change jobs as much as they want. And then your children, you just apply for a study permit for them, and they get it as well automatically.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, go
Uh,
ahead.
okay. Then international passport, of course, with all the visa pages for every country you've been to. But it will be advised that your international passport be valid for at least 2 years, so that you get your full 2 years work permit term. But that doesn't mean you cannot renew it once you're in the country. So it just saves you the stress. And then you LMIA documents that the company signed or got you. You also have access to it, and you'll be using that as well. Then your passport photograph, of course, your current employment letter or contract. So this is the contract you get from the company you intend working with in Canada. So you have to show proof that yes, I've really gotten this job. Your previous employment contract, they're just trying to verify that you really worked in this job and you have this experience. Your resume again, your birth certificate, and then they give you some forms to fill, which are basically your family history, just nothing too serious. And then for your spouse, if you're going with a spouse, like me, I came with my spouse, you have international passport, the marriage certificate, police report, and a few forms to fill. That's it. Then you pay for
Wow.
your visa application.
How long does this whole process take?
Um, there's some other things that you do after applying. I like to mention that. That's like the
Okay.
biometrics. You have to do biometrics as soon as you submit the application, which is valid for 10 years. And then you do medical health examination, which should be done before you apply so that it doesn't waste your time, basically. So to your question, how long it took, um for me it wasn't long because I applied in May 25th, 2021. And by July, yeah, by say second week in July, I'd gotten my passport back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.